Hello, my name is Felipa, and this is day 11 of 365 because this is my annual reading plan of reading the whole Bible. So today I had quite a lot to read. Started in chapter 31, verse 1, and we ended on chapter 37, verse 1. So quite a few pages. And so yesterday, Jacob is denied permission to depart from his time with Laban. And here, starting in chapter 31, he leaves secretly. He takes his wives, his servants, his maids and manservants, and the animals. And as we go on, Laban finds out that he left, and he chases after Jacob. And when he catches up, he says, "How could you do this to me?" And Jacob says, "Well, I was afraid because I was thinking that you're going to take your daughters from me and everything I worked for, but I stayed with you and I was loyal to you." And then they essentially make a covenant, and they agree that the daughters are his daughters and the children are your children, and the cattle are my cattle are your cattle. And they agree that they will go on their own ways and that they're both blessed to have everything that they have, and that they will have a covenant and good relations. Then Jacob makes a plan to meet with his brother Esau, who we know a couple of chapters back that he had deceived when it came to their father Isaac giving them a blessing. Esau was the firstborn and Jacob was the secondborn, but they're twins. And Jacob, because of his mother Rebekah's advice or direction, tricked their father Isaac into making him think that he was the favored son. And Isaac, of course, then blessed him, and Esau has held a grudge and wanted to kill him. But here we have, after many, many years, 20 or maybe even more, of Jacob being with Laban and living there and marrying his daughters Rachel and Leah, and building a family and a legacy. Now comes the time for the brothers to meet, and he sends cattle and stock with his servants before they meet with Esau as a way to gain his favor. And I guess it works in his way, because when they meet, they embrace, they cry, and they say it's good to be together again. And then they go to basically set up shop somewhere else. And unfortunately, one of the daughter of Leah, so one of Jacob's wives, Leah, their daughter Dinah, she is ravished by Shechem or Shechem, the son of Hamor. And so then Jacob's sons, so Dinah's brothers, go and tell them they need to be circumcised in order to join their brotherhood and to join forces. But while they agree to get circumcised, but then while they are recovering, Jacob's sons go and attack the men of Shechem and kill them, because they say that they don't want their sister to be a harlot. And then we see that God sends Jacob to Bethel. Jacob builds an altar to God at Bethel. God blesses him, tells him his name is now Israel, and says he will continue providing for him, and that his life will be fruitful and multiply. So then the family continues the journey from Bethel, but Rachel, the main wife of Jacob, now called Israel, bears a son named Benjamin on that route and passes away. And then we just have a recollection of Esau's wives and his sons and the kings of Edom or Edom. And so it's just an account of a bunch of people's names, and it's the first time we are seeing the word duke get used. So this is where we end. I know that this is a little bit of an account of what I've read rather than a lot of my thoughts. It was an interesting chapter to read. Obviously, there is a lot of plot and a lot of names and cities and establishments are being used. And so I am curious to know what happens as Jacob's story continues. But it's interesting because God is telling him he shall now be named Israel, but then we're continuing to use the word and see the word Jacob. So I will see where that goes. Stay tuned for day 12 of 365, and I will see you soon.